Field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Fielded at the 33. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially,
Here we go.
give him 15.
Here we go.
And out will come the offense as they take over. So now it's the Raiders' turn to go on offense for the first time. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Pryor looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Schwartz. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Ready, fire's the right. Echo, echo. Hey, you don't want to see me.
Operating from the gun. Pryor. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. A 2-yard touchdown grab as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically, what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball.
Absolutely. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney. In there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
I hope you listen, because I'm about to take you to school. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. I got you.
From the gun, Pryor. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And they work this out past the 25. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
Let's go.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man. coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it, because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Don't let him breathe. Don't let him breathe.
Looking to throw on second down. Pryor looking deep for Adams. And that's caught inside the 35. A big play that time for the Raiders. 41 yards. And that's now 2 big catches on this drive for him.
You know, the NFL keeps talking about the possibility of using video for coaching on the sidelines. That's not approved yet, but you can still use pictures. They've got to send his picture down to their defense and say, you see him? Cover it.
On first down, Jacobs. Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throw in the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
2nd and 1. And this is caught at the 8. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. You know, he's already thrown for more yardage in this first quarter than he did all of last week.
And I could be snarky here and say, well, he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week, but the bottom line is he put in a great week of practice and really came out ready to go in this one.
They'll run it with Jacobs. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
2nd and 6. He's got it. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Watch the ship.
6-0 our score after 1. They come up in an offset eye.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Check.
They'll run with Jacobs. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Boy, that's a 5-yard loss. 4th down now. Okay, so you just took the big loss. Now what are you doing on 4th down?
Well, we have a change of plans now is what we have, because I think they were looking at the play sheet, trying to dial something up to go for it on 4th down. But after that loss, that goes right out the window. Now you have to kick the field goal and hope to come back down the next time and score.
A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Oh, yeah!
King now from the gun on 3rd down. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
Let's go.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Hey, come on, oh, come on, oh.
SOS, SOS, SOS.
Mixon with a first down carry.
Run.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Looking to throw. King rolling to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 38-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
It's Mixon on the counter. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40.
That's it,
A loss of 2 there. 2nd down. Well, he can be a load to handle off the edge, and he can do it against the pass. Sure, he can do it against the run like he did there.
And you mentioned a load. How about having to adjust to his speed as well? Because not only does he bring some pop, he brings some dash as well. A nice play on that situation.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Joe Mixon there out of the backfield. And it's 3rd down.
We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a miss.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Boom! That's how we do it.
That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case, because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5.
Let's go.
So here are the Raiders. Now to take over. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Stop your whining. Hey, watch Sam, watch Sam.
2nd and 5.
54. It's going to be a long
Throw
day.
left side complete. It's Schwartz. And he'll have it past midfield, almost to the 40, before being taken down. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. That one was hard to fathom. They were in the dime. They had 6 DBs back there. They still lost it.
Great word, because I'm right there with you. I don't understand how they couldn't pick him up. But don't be surprised next week early, there's some extra people in the locker room, maybe a tryout or two for those guys who missed him.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Great gains back-to-back. Last time over 30 yards, better than 20 here.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains, and really it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
Get in the weight room. 45's the mark.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Operating from the gun, Pryor into the end zone. Oakland Raiders touchdown. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run. Back here, this will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense. And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now a throw left sideline here is complete.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
24 is the mic.
Now King. From the gun, he'll throw. And an alley to run. And nearly a touchdown as they finally stop him down at about the 3-yard line.
Don't throw this way.
It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
Mike, 45. Hey, me and you all day.
On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will stretch the lead to 3 scores now at 19-0. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you've got this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
And a loose football, and the Raiders have recovered.
Ball, baby, that's our ball.
So we reach halftime, and we now proceed to the start of the second half. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points. And
in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Check Mike, 54.
To throw again. Pryor.
Here we go.
And that's complete to Adams. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
That's it, baby.
Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the 3rd quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
Throwing on first down. Pryor. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Schwartz. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Check the outs. Check the outs. Yo. Rush in. Rush in. Let's go. Get set.
Here's Jacobs. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage.
Offensive line coaches always tell their guys, if we score touchdowns, that means we get to the end zone first. That's exactly what those blockers did, clearing the way for their back.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On the run, it's Mixon. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard.
Focus, defense, focus.
And he probably should have given that one off, as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, they have had success when he keeps the ball running it, but not in that situation. I mean, I think we got an example of why NFL coaches really don't like their quarterback in the running game.
Because whether he keeps it or not, he's likely going to take a hit, isn't he?
No doubt about it. And defenses, they're looking to put that hit on a quarterback.
From the gun on 3rd down, King. And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Jadeveon Clowney has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. A little more room here on 2nd and 6 from the 6. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. back near your own goal line, I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Solid gain of 18 and a Raider first down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's how we do it.
Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground?
Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. 20, 10, and all the way in for the touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 83 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
You break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Extra point from McManus is good, and that will extend this big lead. 5 plays there on that drive, and it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Redskins. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Again, it's Mixon. And that is not a sight they want to see. Joe Mixon, very slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's King, operating from the gun. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Max Crosby in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even...
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Back to throw. Pryor. It's caught here by Adams. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit. And that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me completions. Even when you're taking some hits, sometimes you have to be your own blitz control, for lack of a better term. Got to make completions, step up, and make those throws, and he did that. Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Looking deep for Adams. It's caught at the 10. A big play that time for the Raiders. 41 yards. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs, his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 11 on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Back now at FedEx Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Now the 2nd down throw on target. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Raiders pick it up. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
45. Mike, rotate. Spell. I don't think you got it, son. Check 3. Check 45's the mic. Check. 45's the mic.
Off play action. Pryor. That'll be caught by Rodgers. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 22 yards there, a 1st down. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. From the gun, Pryor going to throw deep for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. as his guys are in for 6, as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there, good for a Redskin first down. Operating from the gun, King. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
Let's go, baby.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. To throw is King. From the gun, he'll throw. And Diggs has it. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. What a game this defense continues to play, huh?
Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you've got to match that aggressiveness. No points so far in this game. Moving the football, got to be that way to go against them and try and get some points on the board.
And I'm curious, under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Montez Sweat, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. This is 3rd and goal, still looking for the first points of the game. King operating from the gun. He may try and run for this. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. The kick by Elliott is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Wide, get wide.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. Taron Johnson made the stop.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Mike's 5'4". Mike's 5'4".
That one looks like he'll throw here. Throw complete there, Rodgers. That one covers 29 yards, first down.
Let's go.
And they just hit another big completion there, and I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game, and however it turns out, it turns out.
They said their goal was to win 7 games. They've done that pretty early in the year.
I think it's time for them to elevate that number and really make a big push to finish this season strong.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been